From late 1997 to April 2010, Kaboni Savage and his street organization, the KSO, wreaked havoc on the streets of Philadelphia. Violence, the likes of which the city hasn't seen, stemming from one person in a very long time. In June 2011, a superseding indictment was filed. In that time span, a slew of awful and ridiculous events would transpire, culminating in the June 2013 death sentence of Savage, a life sentence for his sister and a former associate, and 40 years for a fourth man. On October 9, 2004, 6 people, including 4 children, died as a result of an arson at a home located on North 6th Street in Philadelphia. The government contends that Kaboni Savage and his younger sister, Kadada, directed Lamont Lewis and his cousin Robert Merritt to set fire to the home of Eugene Twin Coleman, a former associate of Kaboni Savage. Kaboni believed that Twin was cooperating with the government and planned to testify against him in his 2005 federal drug conspiracy trial. The firebombing took the lives of Coleman's mother, infant son, and 4 other relatives. The prosecutors say that the firebombing was ordered by Kaboni Savage in order to intimidate Coleman. On January 5, 2005, Savage was placed in a special housing unit, or the SHU, at the Federal Detention Center located on 7th and Arch Street. On the basis of an order entered by Judge Michael Belson, federal officials had previously placed wiretaps within the prison cell of Kaboni Savage and the surrounding access spaces, including an event between his cell and another man who we'll call BD. His identity isn't relevant to this story. Through these wiretaps, the government obtained recordings of conversations between Savage, BD, and Robert Merritt, which occurred between October 2004 and January 2005. Kaboni Savage is accused of leading a regional drug trafficking organization in North Philadelphia, referred to at trial by prosecutors as the Kaboni Savage Organization, or KSO. The quote, KSO distributed large quantities of cocaine, weed, and wet, and not surprisingly, fiercely protected its network and territory through the use of guns and violence. Threats to the organization, whether perceived or real, were quickly tamped down or extinguished. Early on in the operation, Savage took care of such threats himself, but as his power grew, his enforcers did his bidding without question. Even while locked up, Savage continued to call the shots of the organization from his prison cell. He led by retaliating against those who dared to cooperate with the government agents and prosecutors. What makes this story stand out is that Savage not only arranged for the murder of the prosecution's main witness in an ongoing case, in a later case he orchestrated the firebombing of the family home of another cooperating witness in a fashion that ensured no one would survive. Eventually, Savage was charged with 12 counts of murder and 8 of racketeering, among other serious offenses. The government sought the death penalty.